Wayne Bennett is considered one of the best coaches in rugby league. He has coached a total of 924 premiership games, winning 577 of them, equaling to a win rate of 62%. He has led the clubs he has coached to 10 grand finals, winning 7 of them. He was named Coach of the Year several times and was just recently introduced to the NRL Hall of Fame. Wayne Bennett isn't the only top coach in the NRL. Trent Robinson, Craig Bellamy, and more recently Ivan Cleary are all considered to be some of the best coaches in the game. However, many consider Wayne Bennett as the super coach. This video details Wayne's coaching career. This is the story of Wayne Bennett. Wayne Bennett was born on the 1st of January 1950 in Allura, Queensland. At the age of 15, he worked as a police officer and played junior rugby league at Warwick. Between the years of 1970 and 1977, he would play in the first grade. From what I have found, he played for Past Brothers and Southern Suburbs Magpies and represented Queensland and Australia. But as for his coaching career, he began by coaching the under-18s Queensland Police Academy in 1975. And in 1976, he started coaching in Ipswich before moving to Brisbane, where he captained and coached the South Magpies until 1979. Then coached the Brothers Leprechauns from 1980 to 1982. In 1983, he went back to coach the under-18s Queensland Police Academy team and helped them to a premiership. And in 1984 and 85, he went back to the South Magpies as their head coach. In 1986, Bennett would take over as head coach for Queensland State of Origin team and maintain this role until 1988. But in the middle of 1987, he was assigned as co-coach for the Canberra Raiders alongside Australian head coach at the time, Don Furner. The year of 1987, Bennett would guide the Raiders to their first grand final, but ended up losing. And he also took Queensland to an Origin Series win this year. In 1988, Bennett was appointed as the first head coach of the Brisbane Broncos, as this was the year the club was formed. This same year, he also won the series for Queensland again. Wayne Bennett stayed as the Broncos head coach for 20 years. During this time, he led them to their first premiership win in 1992. After this premiership win, he travelled with the Broncos over to England as they played the Wigan Warriors in their World Club Challenge, and Brisbane won the game. The next season, the Broncos would win the grand final, again, giving them back-to-back premierships. In 1997, the Broncos dominated, winning the Telstra Cup grand final, and the World Club Championship again. Bennett would return as head coach for Queensland in 1998, and even coached Australia. Bennett won his 4th premiership this year, and was awarded Coach of the Year at Queensland Sporting Awards. In the year 2000, Wayne would win his 5th premiership title with the Broncos. With Bennett being a staple top coach, he'll be poached by Australian Rugby Union, but would decline the offer to swap coats. In 2001, Bennett would return to coach the Queensland side, and stayed as the head coach for the Maroons for 2002 and 2003. Bennett played a major role in reviving the Tri-Nation Series in 2004, and was appointed as head coach of Australia this year. He coached Australia and the Broncos again in 2005, but in 2006, there was a secret deal with Wayne and the Roosters that had been made public, causing the deal not to go ahead and the relationship between Wayne and the Broncos management to fall apart. In the same year during the finals, Bennett became the second person to coach 500 premiership games and also signed with the Broncos for an extra 2 years. In 2007, he was named Queensland Sporting Coach of the Year again and was made a life member of the club. At the start of 2008, Wayne submitted his letter of resignation, causing his time coaching with the Broncos to end. At the end of 2008, he would end up signing a 3-year deal with the St. George Illawarra Dragons. In 2009, he joined the Dragons, and there was a major reshuffle going on, not only to the players on the field, but management behind the scene as well. The Dragons had a great season this year, winning the minor premiership, but in the finals, they would lose to Wayne's former club, the Broncos, ending their season. At the end of the year, he was introduced to the Queensland Sports Hall of Fame. 2010 would see Bennett take the Dragons to a second minor premiership. They would face the Sydney Roosters in the grand final, and while they were losing at half-time, 8-6, they went on to win the game, 32-8, giving Wayne another premiership win, taking the Dragons to play the Wigan Warriors in the 2011 World Club Challenge. But he didn't attend the match, as he went on to be with his sick mother-in-law. In 2011, it was announced that this would be his last season coaching the Dragons, and his time with the club ended with a golden point loss against his former club, the Broncos. 2012 would see Bennett make a move to Newcastle, signing a 4-year contract with the club. In his first year with the club, he didn't make the finals, being the first time in 21 years Wayne hadn't coached the side to the finals. But then in 2013, he coached the side to a semi-finals appearance, leaving them 1 game short of the grand final. In 2014, Bennett announced he would be leaving the Knights to return to the Brisbane Broncos in the 2015 season. With his return to the Broncos, the club would finish second on the ladder this year and made it to the grand final. However, they would lose the match to the Cowboys in a thrilling 17-16 defeat. This would become the Broncos' first grand final defeat. Bennett would continue coaching the club for the next few seasons, up until 2018, and at the end of 2018, he would be sacked from the club and signed with the Bunnies for 2019. Wayne would speak about being sacked, saying, "You don't get the chance to say goodbye to anybody when they sack you, and they tell you not to come back to the building. But that's alright. That's all fine. We'll all get over it. I was happy to be sacked. Just leave it at that. I was happy." Before this occurred, in 2016, he was named as the head coach of England for 2 seasons, and even coached the English side in the 2017 Rugby League World Cup. In 2019, he was also picked as head coach for the Great British Lions Tour, and was picked to coach England's 2019 Rugby League World Cup Nines team. Back to the NRL, in 2019, the Bunnies would have a great first season with their new head coach, finishing 3rd on the ladder. But during the finals, they would lose to the Raiders 16-10 in the preliminary final, ending their season. In 2020, it was announced that Wayne would be leaving the club at the end of 2021, but he still guided the Bunnies to a 6th place finish on the ladder, but would lose to the Panthers in the preliminary finals, 20-16, ending their season. This year, Bennett also coached the Queensland side, again. 2021 would see Wayne lead the Bunnies to a 3rd place finish on the ladder, and took them to a grand final, his 10th grand final as head coach. But they would lose to Penrith 14-12. As for 2022, Wayne joined the newly introduced NRL team, the Dolphins. He was brought in to start the club off on the right foot. In 2023, it was announced that he had coached his 900th premiership match. After getting the Dolphins off to a steady first few seasons, in the middle of 2024, it was announced that he will rejoin the Bunnies to take over as their head coach. While it has been reported that he was approached by the Parramatta Eels to be their head coach, Wayne decided to go with the Bunnies, saying that he had unfinished business with the club. Wayne also said, "I like the people there, and I like the club and what it stands for." Thanks for watching.